Yes, yes, it is. That's what I remember. We had trouble one time. And was supposed to
It's a Wednesday evening, and at the end of an office park in Durham, a dozen or so volunteers are opening CPUs, pulling stickers off monitors, and working to make older computers look new. The Kramden Institute is a non-profit organization whose mission is to provide hard-working, less advantaged students with a home computer. They do this in an attempt to bridge the digital divide, or the gap in opportunities which exist between those with access to technology and those without. Kramden Executive Director Carrie Clark wonders if that phrase is the best way to describe what they do.
I heard a great line recently, and I really love this term, and it wasn't digital divide, it was digital inclusiveness. And I thought, well, that really captures a lot of what we're trying to do, and it's not that, yeah, there's a digital divide, and that's sort of the negative look at it. But digital inclusiveness says, let's get everybody involved. It's not just about giving them the tool, it's give them the tool and give them the opportunity to learn, give them the opportunity to really begin to use this resource. And I think what comes after that is sort of, it's an unknown, but I think it can only be positive.
Part of the path to that positive outcome is identifying students who will most benefit from having a home computer, something the Kramden Institute relies heavily on their partner agencies to help with.
Kramden does not make the final determination of who gets a computer. We're the resource for building it and awarding it, and we do that with our volunteers. We rely on the teachers because they're the ones who are working, hand in hand with the students. It's a very subjective determination. We don't assign a grade point average. We don't require a student to have a B average or a C average because the truth is, you don't know what other environmental variables are in that child's life. There's no way to know that they're not doing the best with what they have. And you don't know what they go home to or don't go home to. Some of our students may not have homes. And I think that's the kind of thing you can't capture in a grade point average.
The process of identifying students is detailed, but even more detailed is the process by which the Institute gets the actual computers in working order for the student. Each Wednesday evening, volunteers show up for weekly work nights, a smaller version of the more infrequent geekathons, an all-day blitz of computer repair and renovation. Each computer travels from workstation to workstation, ending with a cleaning and final check to ensure the student receives a working, clean, and as close to new computer as possible. Wednesday night volunteers, Steve and Judy Bank.
Well, most of the ones that my wife and I are working on right now are, there's either it's been returned because there was a problem, and we're going to try to diagnose what the problem is, or many of these are first-time gifts and they're missing certain parts. So we try to see what parts are missing, and we have a large supply of parts, and we try to find the right ones, put it back together again, and then start the units up. And my wife's very good at diagnosis, so we have a particular disk that allows us to run sort of tests on it to see if we can find out if there is any problems, or if we can get past that stage, move on to the next stage. So the bench you find us at now is really the beginning bench for returns or computers that we can start working and start setting them up. And the particular one we were working on, there was a problem for a while, but my wife's going to clue me in and see, because I heard them cheer a little bit before, so something got itself turned on. So apparently we did find it.
Oh, it was bad memory. One of the memory sticks was bad, and it wouldn't boot up. When you first boot it up, you go into a screen that kind of tells you what all the peripherals are and if they're installed correctly and things, and it wouldn't do anything. So we tried lots of different things, but the thing that was bad was the memory.
Executive Director Carrie Clark stresses the success of the Kramden Institute is directly tied to the hard work of volunteers like Steve and Judy.
This, from the outside, looks like a grand entity and a grand scale effort, and it is. We have grand dreams, but we're doing that with the least number of resources that we can. We only have 2 full-time paid staff at this time. We're hoping to add a part-time soon. There's not many groups who can share the successes we've had and point back to saying, volunteers did this. The work, the leadership, it's not just that they come in for an event. There's volunteers serving in a leadership capacity, and that's so rare in long-term leadership. And these aren't just board members, and they're not, they're not here because their company assigned them. These are people who really got invested in the program. They have skills, they have an outlet where they can share their expertise, and we're certainly happy to have them. We're lucky to have them and quite blessed.
After all those work nights, after the Geekathon, computers are awarded and students, hopefully, start seeing what the other side of the digital divide looks like.
Will they use that computer for fun? Absolutely, and I hope they do. But they're also seeing this as a tool And for them, this is a resource to their family. It connects mom, dad, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, and guardians who they live with. It also gives them a chance to, this is going to save their family money. They're not going to the library. They're not having to take that extra bus trip. Maybe they're not, having to make arrangements to go to a grandparent's house or a friend's house to do their homework. This could really add a lot to their whole family's life.
The Kramden Institute has many success stories to share. However, recently, one story brought their mission full circle.
Last summer, we had a volunteer in our office, and she just approached us, was a college student, to come do some hours home from college for the summer, and was helping us do data entry. And she's in there typing names, and she stumbles upon her sister's name. She's like, "That's my sister." And she kind of sits back in the chair, and she looks around, and she goes, "My family got a computer from Kramden." And she really never knew that. She was the older sister in the family. There are 3 of them. And she knew at some point in time, and she could certainly remember the moment when her family had come to a very hardship, time, and they were struggling. And she recalls when there was a computer that was given to their family. Didn't know the details about it, but here she was, a college student attending, a local university, and she used that Kramden computer to do her homework in high school. She used that Kramden computer to apply for school, and it's kind of awesome. That really emphasizes the impact that computer has, not just to the student, but to the whole family. And that was really cool to watch her kind of sit back and say, wow, in a way I received a computer, and I benefited from this work. So I think she really loved being able to sit there and then give right back.
More information on the Kramden Institute can be found at kramden.org.